I actually like smaller groups because you can do more. There's more flexibility. The bigger the group, you have to almost. When I do these guided journeys for the chapter by chapter journeys, they're incredible. But I have to have them scripted. I mean, actually write them out because we get so much more done in an hour than 2 hours it normally took in the past. And so I actually have to go on the journeys and see us all going through what we're going through, actually write it down 2 weeks ahead of time for every single one of those journeys. It's a lot of work.
It's a lot.
Um, you see this here? This is chapter 19 out of 29. We've gone through 18 as of yesterday.
Wow.
So they look kind of like this. Oh, you know what? If I take this background off just temporarily, you'll be able to see this.
Right.
I have to read
Yes.
from the preliminary techniques, and I have to go into a reading from the chapter. It's pertinent to the title. In this case, chapter 18 is The Trilotu Armata Transforms. And put yourself in the shoes of a reptilian who now becomes benevolent again. That's what that's about. Because if you don't change them, and you don't change presidents, and you don't change people on earth, the world will not change. That change has to come from the greater God out beyond earth, because that's the only beings that are really free in this, that can do this. Earth people aren't free yet to navigate their own lives properly, so they run around bumping into each other all day long. Countries, religions, you name it, they have no way out of that trap. So the way has to be provided for them. So there's all that. So we've gone through 18 weeks out of 29 weeks for those journeys. And we go places and do things in new facilities that I still take people like you on to experience new facilities on these journeys. It's just as important as the chapter by chapter journeys. They're just a little bit more dedication to people involved in them. That's all for their own good. So we are recording. Wasn't my intent to speak about them, but on YouTube you will not find any of those recorded journeys. Only the questions and answer part of it that comes after it, because there's a lot of wisdom, a lot that the Hugh shares with people in many ways in those questions and answers, and hopefully some more people will get involved in wanting to go on those journeys. But this is not being said for any of you. I'm just letting you know part of what I do. Let's see, I'm going to put this back because I like it. Where is that little guy? Where is that guy? I know he's here somewhere. Oh, there it is. Okay.
Beautiful.
It's vibrations. It's vibrational. The way I look at it, I'm on another planet looking at the ocean with a lot of tropical islands, no polar ice caps, a smaller moon the size of Earth circling a big planet. And I just do the whole thing from there.
Mm.
Kind of thing. It's just the way it seems to work out. So,
Okay.
I have to prepare for these journeys in ways that, of course, are not revealed. But I have to be in touch with the people we're going to go meet and respectfully request their presence as masterful teachers on these journeys each and every time. We set it up ahead of time, and then later in the day we go on the journeys. It's kind of like that. It's always good to start off something like this with just 5 hue sounds. It does 2 things. It triggers a response in the pineal gland in the center of the brain. It isn't a control over a being or anything like that. It is something that you do of free will as an Atma, because the couples that are with you now from the Galactic Alliance simply keep your subconscious fears turned off for the journey so you can bring back something pure positive, something that has no negative nature, back to your consciousness on earth and raise the intelligence of it. We want to get back to having photographic memories, right?
Right.
Just one point that Elon Musk has one. A few people do. My grandmother did on my father's side. But it didn't come out in me in this life any more than it did any of you. And normally we should have that. So we want to get smarter. You can have a photographic memory and still be grounded and trapped on Earth with no desire or anything else to find out more. I think most people on Earth think that because of how they were brainwashed growing up, oh, the speed of light, it's got this limit. People can't come to us from other planets. It's too far away. Well, that's awfully arrogant and egotistical thinking, to project that limited stupidity on beings that don't have that problem. And that's what Earth people have done to themselves. Can't blame them. I mean, they did it because they were raised that way. Speed of light, it's all theoretical. You can measure its relative speed in an atmosphere like Earth, which is where that was done, which has no relativity to the light out in space at all. So they project that onto the speed of light, which has no limits, and say, oh, beings can't come to us. We can't get to them in our lifetime. They're too far away. This is the way people talk when they don't know beings are already coming here for our own damn good, or there'd be no life on this planet right now. It's nice to know this. It's a little more freeing than not knowing it. Let's put it that way. So it takes some courage to go on these journeys in any consistent way. And you have all stepped up to bat. So I thank you. I acknowledge you for that. I'm going to send out the hue, and all that I ask you to do is send it out with me in the privacy of your sanctity of your own being. Go up the tones with me just in your imagination. Remember this, though. Imagination is not made up from your brain in your skull. There's no brain cells there that imagine anything. That's not its purpose at all. The ability to imagine anything or see anything, like going to the store, or getting on a plane, or having a vacation, going to another planet, going to the source, uses the same exact faculty. But it doesn't come from your body at all. It comes from the Atma running that body, which has this spherical nature and multidimensional capability to connect anywhere in the multiverse and see and know things. This is what we're working on getting woken up in you that's long been dormant. Not just this lifetime. So we want to make this count. I'll begin those hues now. What this does is put the body in the trance state called sleep. It really goes into sleep just like you do when you put it to bed at night, but you can hear things going by, a streetcar or something. You know, it's a form of protection for the body. But the body goes into this stillness, this serenity of being, and is still and calm. Heart rate works, lungs work, it's all on automatic. You're actually floating above your body looking down on it near the ceiling. And you find that you're projecting a body form that looks kind of like you, but it's about 36, flawless, flawlessly beautiful, trim, well dressed if you're a female, flawlessly handsome, or well dressed if you're a male. This is a prototype. This is what we show each other. It's not a physical DNA body. It's not made of molecules or atoms. It is made of star stuff. It is made of that space between stars, between galaxies, which has no nuclear nature, what they used to call dark matter. They know is running everything behind the scenes. Their physical eyes don't see it, so it appears dark blue or black. It isn't. As Atmas, we perceive it correctly. And if you can learn how to see it with your eyes open, walking around Earth, you'll be able to hear and see it around you. I do this all the time. You'll be able to hear and see it around you. But it's the Atma that's seeing it and passing this understanding to the body so that it thinks it's seeing it. But the eyes are not. The ears are not hearing it. There are two beings, one to each side of you, a couple, male and female, who have left their bodies on the Emerald Star Cruiser stationed in the ice rings of Saturn in order to go with us on this journey and to serve to keep your subconscious fears and problems turned off so that when we go out into energy that has no negative nature, you can bring some of that back with you. What happens is you become automatically a co-creative channel of energy coming into Earth to help transform it with billions of other beings. It's very powerful. It's far more powerful than anything combined on Earth. And it's sweeping through the lower dimensions of time and space, through our solar system and through our planet as we speak. As things speed up on Earth, a more radical transformation of masses of people can take place. But first, it needs to get prepared for that. And that is what's underway now. All of you have already lived more advanced, far more advanced lives as humans and humanoid and other beings out in the universe long before you found yourself caught and put unconscious in a body on Earth without your free will being involved in that. Why do I say that? Because no one would choose a free will to be born on a planet in a human body the way it is, on purpose, agreeing to be dumber than a board and remember nothing. So you can what? Get it right? That isn't the way it really works. So what people are most afraid of is really confronting what really happened to them that put them here. I know I had to go through it. All of you have gone through it. It's the beginning of awakening. Shantiel and Tonaltiel and Dantium and Lamtium have been described for you. About 6 feet tall, long hair to their shoulders, slightly bigger eyes than Earth humans, different colored hair, different colored skin depending on who they are, Galactic Alliance uniforms so you can recognize. These are masterful beings showing you body forms that look the same age as the ones they're showing you, which is not the same for us. They actually look like that back aboard their ship. They don't live limited lives for 100 years or anything like this. They're just normal. So Earth is not a planet of normal human beings that evolved to be far more evolved than they are represented on Earth today, a very long time ago in galactic history. To really come to understand why Earth ended up like it did has primarily to do with its polar flips every 100,000 years, and 6 ice ages in 600,000 years. A civilization like Lemriel can develop, which is an extraterrestrial colony, to 100,000 years and be wiped out in 24 hours when this event occurs. So it's kept Earth colonizations off balance, not like the rest of the universe, where planets evolve with people on for hundreds of millions of years without this kind of interruption. It's a very rude interruption. Most life is destroyed on the surface because the surface continents sink around the core and new continents rise up, and it takes place in 24 hours. It's not long and drawn out. Of course, the weather changes. The atmosphere fills with dust, gets cold. There's your ice age, but it's not how it starts. This is classified. This means that the Soviet Union, the former Soviet Union, the US during joint missions under détente discovered this fact and kept it classified away from people. Fortunately, the polar flips of Earth have been permanently stopped. They will never occur again. This was done by beings that isn't even revealed in any organization, religious training, or guru on planet Earth anywhere. Galactic Alliance people themselves are just now becoming familiar again with beings called silent mentors. We'll be visiting some of them on this journey. They run that whole mechanics out there of all those stars and galaxies, doorways between dimensions, portal guardians. They have no direct involvement, really, with training individual beings like us to be masterful or become co-creators with Source. That is not their purpose. There is one place we can go to where they will work in harmony with us and, in a sense, move the hue through them, through us, and from master teachers on the other end, from them through us and back through them, so that we get an experience rubbing off on us of what it's like to be a silent mentor. Not actually be one in their total capable functioning characteristics, but part of it. On the other hand, we have more of the masterful qualities surfacing in us, that is regard or care for other life, individual, other Atmas, and fellow beings, which people call divine love. Of course, they don't know what it is on Earth, because it isn't about praying to some God or some Savior, whether it's Buddha or Allah or Jesus or any of these people. It is fine to be respectful of past teachers. That's good. There's nothing wrong with any of that. It's just that kind of thing on Earth does not lead to direct experience and knowing, which is the one thing that liberates people. Knowing. Faith alone will not do it. And since they live forever, I guess they could take forever to get beyond that and step from faith and belief into direct experience, which is where they should be leading. As the energy increases on planet Earth for the good of all life, the consciousness of people running these organizations on Earth will change. Without riots, without people shooting each other in the street and all that kind of nonsense. This is not about getting one person from one religion into another or anything like that. That's a big, nasty illusion on Earth. It's about getting people awake about the greater God they pray to, what it's like out there among the stars and the other realities. They need to know this while they're still running a body on Earth, if possible. The hue is the first primordial sound behind all creation, supporting all that exists. It is the missing word in written books on Earth. So it is not a written word, it's a sound. There's a first primordial sound that went out and created all of creation. But to remember that sound and start working with it is to reverse everything. It begins to spiral us ever upward back to Source as it's meant to. So when you cross paths with it, you're on your way. And once you cross paths with the U expansion ray in the omnipresent first sound that's there now, it is not reversible. So you're hovering near the ceiling, projecting a form that looks human, about 36, flawless. Kind of like what Satnam shows us of his form, about 36, he chooses to show us as a prototype. And this is the way we reveal ourselves to each other in some kind of form, which was the prototype that existed and still exists before any DNA form was born and you started running it. All DNA is patterned, in a sense, after the original form. The body form that you show each other is not a DNA or atom or atomic structured body at all. It's made of the primordial hue. It's a projection from the white core of the Atma. This is who and what we really are. In truth, we're the spherical being. We always have been, just like a planet or moon or sun or stars are round. So with this understanding, which is purely telepathic, I'm not giving you mindless entertainment here. This is experience awakening wisdom you once had. You grow up on an earth not even stepping in the direction of recovering it, so you don't do it. Sooner or later, if it's made available, the hue is out there and it will cross your paths, or you will cross the path of it. And then your journey really begins. Purpose for any bodies on all the planes you have has only one real reason for existing: to get you to this point, to help you become your true destiny, be a conscious, trustworthy co-creator with the source itself. We are made of source stuff. We're made of star stuff. Actually, we're made of the stuff behind and supporting stars, not the stars themselves. They are round because they are obviously imaged in the form of their creators. Very simple. Round. Whole. The levels of the Atma can see in any direction in 360 degrees and perceive the reality of the multidimensional creation. Depending on what's aware of, it can place its attention on any planet, in any location, in any galaxy, in any dimension, and through direct projection on the omnipresent living power itself. Be there instantly. We take time to travel and go through energy motions to get from point A to point B in these journeys for fun. But we can also do it by direct projection. It's the most advanced way of traveling beyond the body. This is not astral projection. That's limited to the astral plane only. When people think they're leaving their body and their astral body separates from their physical body, they're thinking what's really alive is their physical body and everything's being projected from there, including the astral body separating from it. This is not what happens. They experience moving into the astral body as if it's separating from the physical body because it is separate from it. And then they're in the astral plane, walking through walls and doing whatever they're doing. But they're really just joining the body they have living in one of the parallel dimensions of the astral plane and bringing back that awareness, if they're lucky. Doesn't really help them much to advance. To really advance, we need to get above the void. Why? Because we need to get into energy that has no negative nature and never has, like us. The more we rub shoulders with it, the more we become. In our conscious awareness, we become it. This is the point. This is the entire and only point for these journeys. They exist and are on this earth at this time to help bring about an unexpected transformation to the lower worlds of time and space, but in your case, specifically planet Earth. But it's not just about one little planet. It's infinitely bigger than that. We do know that water, which is mostly what Earth is, a large part of it, it can be used as a source of energy that is not expendable. Think about this for a moment in the hue expansion ray wisdom flowing through you right now, before we go on this journey. If you break down the two gases that combine molecularly to form water into hydrogen and oxygen, the oxygen will burn the hydrogen as fuel. In a car, what comes out the tailpipe is water vapor. It goes right back to the ocean, right back to the air. No pollutants. Quite a cycle. Now, if people understood that's one small aspect of the many capabilities of H2O, how it really works. It's also a telepathic medium through which we can connect to other worlds. It's like a computer. You can store 5 dimensions of information in H2O. This was proven by Professor Gerald Pollack out of Washington State University fairly recently. Amazing qualities to it. That doesn't mean they know how to access it or utilize it yet, but that's a good beginning. I've met him. He was in the Finland conference with me, among many other people, including the Hopi elders, a shaman from Siberia, a quantum physicist from Italy's got 80 books out. These were people that we presented with each other together at that conference. And it opened a door and grounded something new into this planet's atmosphere. That's what its purpose was. It was not well known around the world. But it began something that cannot be reversed. So you're near the ceiling. Hovering on each side of you is another being, just like you, each showing each other a perfect, young, beautiful body form, which you've always had to show or share with others when we meet as Atmas. And all they're doing is keeping your subconscious fears turned off. It doesn't get rid of them. You have to be co-creatively involved in that entire process for you to gain mastery so that you're not vulnerable to be trapped ever again. The U expansion ray works in only one way. It cannot be controlled. It cannot be manipulated. It cannot be possessed. It cannot be used by anybody on Earth. It can be co-created with if your intent is for the uplifting benefit of all life. Then you have access to the entire one power, which manifests whatever we imagine, good or bad or both. So the problem with people on Earth, they've been hoodwinked and scallywagged and tricked and finagled into thinking and imagining in negative ways, which splits their consciousness in half and grounds the energy to the Earth, to a particular single planet. That's ludicrous. It's nonsense. That's Maya. It's an illusion. Breaking the old bad habit of fear is not easily done for people that are not taught anything but it growing up from the time they're born. This is anything but a normal planet, Earth. So we're going to leave it behind for a short time. The sound around us is like gentle, rumbling, humming thunder. It is the sound the universe of the hue makes that surrounds all the things it supports, like galaxies and stars and planets and moons and suns and all of us. Think about it. A planet's round. No matter where you're walking on it, because gravity is centric to the center of the world, you always perceive yourself as walking upright. Even if you're in the South Pole, you're upright. If you're in the North Pole, you're upright. Think about this. How is that possible? How is it that we perceive being upright anywhere we are on a round planet? In space, there is no up or down, really. There are higher levels of vibration to the hue, called the multidimensional universe. Quantum physicists know it exists. They can prove it mathematically. They know there's at least 11 higher dimensions. There are more. In this work, you get exposed, consciously exposed to what they are, that you've been made to forget a long time ago. Once it surfaces, it cannot be forgotten again. And this will unravel the tight knots of fear. Sooner or later, you will be free of them. There's a white golden light of the hue coming down into the roof where you live, wherever you are. It's simply flowing through you. It was connected through the 5 U's we did. We made a connection to the source itself. It is aware of you. All the way down on Earth, running a body here stuck with very little memory. But it begins to help you unravel that by encouraging you to take a co-creative role in your own liberation from fear. This is where the mastery comes into it. Consider that you are in mastery school now. You're not in high school or college, you're in graduate school, so to speak. It was your destiny to cross paths with the hue in this way. The hue cannot be sold or possessed or marketed. Anybody attempting to do that for money is in serious trouble. I don't charge for that. I wouldn't allow the recordings of my own voice in the hue recordings to be downloaded or sold. People can copy it, they can do whatever they want, make up their own. But it's there to benefit people. It's not there to be sold. Books are for that. Feature films are for that. Graphic novels are for that. Talking books are for that. I just finished chapter 29 of the basic creation of the first talking book for the Saber's Agenda. There's a different professional voice for each and every character. So if I can get that done in the next few months and publish it, it will be a big game changer. There's more to it going on, but this is not the purpose for this journey. There's a bright flash of light, and we suddenly find ourselves in outer space outside of Earth, looking at it like what's behind Lubomir in a way, a little further away from it than that, but we see the polar ice caps. We see all the stars of space around us. We are in a circle of beings creating our own luminosity around each of us. And in the center of these beings is Ambassador Torellian of the Se-Rays human race. These guys were very tall. When they had physical bodies in the physical universe, they no longer have them. They were 18 to 25 feet tall. The skeletons have been unearthed by archaeologists on Earth, 3 or 4 or 5 million years old, 18 to 25 feet tall, human skeletons. As soon as that's done, because it's extraterrestrial related, it's classified. Part of disclosure has to do with revealing the truth about such things, obviously. The monetary systems on Earth today and the way they're promoted through fear are completely in the way of what true disclosure is all about. So the true disclosure energy is coming to Earth and beginning to change things. Consider that you, in the upper realities, far above the Hue Expansion Ray Academy, that source itself, are now co-creatively involved through all your forms, helping to bring this transformation into place on this planet. When it moves through you for your benefit, it continues past you, beyond you, for the benefit of others. This is something you know when you're in the white golden light that surrounds us in space, because out here it doesn't look dark blue or black. It's a white golden light, so separate from the individual stars that clearly defined are floating in it. It's the background energy. It's the first sound, the first word. And you're hearing it described this way for the first time in billions of lives through this work on this planet right now. Torellian has his 2 thumbs up with closed fists. There's a kind of a larger, foot-thick, brighter hue light around his thumbs. Now, if you look above Torellian, there's the moon with its barren, pockmarked meteor cratered, no atmosphere, orbiting the planet, doesn't turn. There's the sun. You can see the billion stars of our galaxy all around us, above, below, and to the side of us in every direction. Above Torellian is Etendin the Ardrens from Oceania. It is a planet in the 3rd higher parallel dimension of the physical universe, located on the opposite side of the Milky Way Galaxy from where Earth is. 2/3, half the way out one of the spiral arms. Actually 3/4 of the way, as I recall. There are master teachers with us out here that worked with the first 5 hues we did together. Torellian was one of them. He remains the central focus point for our journeys. 1, because he's willing to do it. 2, because he doesn't have a physical Earth body or physical body to worry about. And he can mock up and show us a physical form 18 foot tall like he had over 1 billion Earth years ago. This is his way of showing himself to us. Long blonde hair to his shoulders, slightly wavy. Bigger blue eyes than humans, a little bigger, pointed ears like an elf, white gown to his bare feet, closed fists with his thumbs up, a white golden light around him. And he's creating around us an oval hollow of light through which we can see. It's transparent, like the hull of a spaceship, to keep us all focused and together on this journey. Don't make any mistake about this. What is being shared with you telepathically in combined union, myself and these beings, comes from Source. And it is being shared with you and passed through you for your benefit. It cannot be used selfishly or only for your own aggrandizement. It has to be used in a co-creative way with Source, as it was meant to be used, for the uplifting benefit of all life. Normal human beings grow up and think this way. They do not grow up as adults thinking like people on Earth do at all, in any way, shape, or form. They do not have subconscious minds developed, either forced on them or developed by corrupt governments and religious systems. They do not have this. That is the majority of the way life is beyond Earth. Can you imagine how shocking that's going to be for people on this planet? So it has to be orchestrated and brought in here in a way that allows them to embrace and wake up into it in a way that won't make them freak out. This is what all this long planning has been about. How do you liberate a world as terribly backward misdirected as the people on Earth are, safely? How do you do it? First, you have to balance things between countries. Other things have to happen. It's all part of the process. In space, there's only 4 of us here. I'm standing right next to Torellian. The Atma I am hovering above the form I'm showing, about 36. Looks very much like Caleb does in the image of him in the Emerald Doorway book of the Parallel Time Trilogy. Because that is a story about my own past, my life. With Melina and all the people and my father and Admiral Starlin, Ramu, who I knew way back then. He's one of the beings in the circle around us. He's by Earth, standing there in his maroon-colored robe, simple rope for a belt, sandals, swarthy skin, dark brown skin, coal-black eyes, short-cropped black curly hair and beard, holding his crystal staff, made of a golden glowing quartz with the symbol for eternal life from ancient Egypt called the Ankh atop it. It's a trademark for this master. There are 2 of the crystals that fit in the oval eye of that Ankh, and it's a tool when a student's ready to teleport them or take them right to Source, where they become a master adept in their own right. It's one of the things he does, which I'm revealing to you now for the first time. Master Pelham, who's Oceanan, from the planet where Et and Din reside, is a large planet 4 times bigger than Earth, mostly water-covered with a few islands around the equator. It has 3 moons the size of Earth with no polar ice caps orbiting it, and it revolves, the planetary system revolves around a trinary sun system. Big blue hot white giant, biggest star. Big sun bigger than our yellow sun, and then another type of sun way out. So there are 2 suns orbiting a bigger sun. They come from this system. Now, Pelham is about 6 feet tall, pale blue skin, like Krishna, but not so vivid. Jet black hair to his shoulders, emerald green eyes, slightly pointed ears. He's always holding one hand up initially to show you the webs between his fingers, because, and the little slits high up under his neck, because this human form genetically can breathe underwater or on land. And yet the Say-Rays DNA in them, like it is on humans on Earth, you could still mate with them. Not that they'd want to mate with anybody on Earth, but the point is the genetic history is the same. Reptilians and Greys and tall whites and Nordics and Mantis, all these things, different forms that were evolved by the Say-Rays to be spacefaring races long ago, have Say-Rays DNA mixed with their own. Why? Because Say-Rays had 12-stranded DNA, not 2. The Atma he is larger than us. It's not as big as a silent mentor, but the silent mentors who are here with us, the Atma's 4 times bigger than what we are. Has twice as many teardrop-shaped faculties in all the different colors of the spectrum of layers of light within it. Now you would need that and the wisdom that's in those things when they're turned on to know how to go to the astral plane, to the city of Sahasrardal Kanwal, the capital city on a world the entire 144 parallel dimensions of the astral plane. And then there's the causal and the mental and etheric. And then there's the void. And then there's Satnam's realm. Then there's the U Expansion Ray Academy. And all the planes of the Purushas above there. To the realm of Agam Purusha, who you've been introduced to. And then to Source. And then to the realm of the silent mentors. And then further to the realm of the Hue Expansion Ray plane itself. Which is a new in creation because it's a place to administer a new kind of energy consciousness moving through the omnipresent first sound we call the U Expansion Ray. When I say we, I mean those of us from beyond Earth. Et and Din have their tails glowing, standing above, in space above Ambassador Torellian, above the Atma he is, sticking out behind them, glowing like crystal opal in bright sunlight. They are silica-based DNA creatures, developed from like sand, like quartz, but with an organic molecular structure, not like carbon like humans. They have Ceres DNA in them. They developed the ability as an organic species to levitate and fly through the air in an atmosphere. They could do it in Earth's atmosphere. I consider them the most treasured acquaintances I know. I adore them. I first met Et and Din over 100,000 years ago, which you can find out about in the Emerald Doorway book. All my cards are wide open and on the table. Doesn't mean people can perceive or see it, but it's there anyway. It is a doorway, a channel of the Hue Expansion Ray brought to Earth. When I came here, I did not come here to do any of this, publish books, be a publisher, or do any of this work. I came here as an ambassador to help change things many decades ago. At the time, that was interfered with, and I ended up on this planet like all of you did. So as I woke all this up, I had a choice to make. Do something about it, stop complaining and whining, and actually contribute something new to Source that can make a difference, which is what I did. When I meet with Satnam, I walk side by side with him. Make no mistake, the respect is there about who he is. He doesn't have a lower body, never did, as far as I know, etheric, mental, causal, astral, or physical. And there's no negative nature where he is. But that doesn't mean because of all of us he hasn't supported this sadistic, monstrous thing we call the lower planes of time and space. Where an elephant can sit on your head and kill you. You know, it's a very strange place, particularly planet Earth. Because nature does not work in a natural way on Earth. It's been interfered with. Out here in space around Torellian, the omnipresent nature of the wisdom of the Hue passes through you, and you cannot misunderstand what is being shared with you. There are other beings in the circle around us. Light C is hovering above Et and Din. Little Chinese guy about 5'5" or so. Little maroon robe on, little esoteric symbols on, little hat, a little rimmed hat, symbols on it, and a little Fu Manchu type beard, a little stringy beard from his chin. Here's a master adept that teaches in two places. The etheric plane before the void, and above Satnam's realm in the pyramid in the Hue Expansion Ray Academy, where this huge tree of life exists. The Galactic Alliance couple mentioned, it could be Shantial and Tonatial or Dantiam, Lamtiam, or many others, are standing beside each of us, with us, so that nothing of a subconscious fear-based nature may go on this journey. It's just shut off with your sleeping body, that's all, for now. The golden white light of eternity is there in the universe supporting all those billions of galaxies. Of course it is. What they call dark matter, the more advanced scientists don't refer to it as dark anymore. They know it's a powerful singular energy everywhere. It is a living energy. It is not nuclear or atomic. There's no atoms in it at all. And yet it is the predominant nature of all energy that little galaxies float in. Think about that. The predominant nature of the energy in the multidimensional creation is the hue itself. Little bitty things like us and bodies and planets and stars and galaxies float in it. There's something you once knew, but in this time around, in this life, it's being made much more crystal clear about how it works and what it is, because you are made of that star stuff. That energy of the hue in the physical burns or universe that surrounds us comes through doorways like concentric generators, all the way through the lower planes from the void, from Satnam's realm, through certain channel devices that are there, from the hue expansion ray academy above it, to the 6th realm, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, etc., to Agam Purusha's realm, then to Source, and the silent mentor realm, and then the hue expansion ray plane itself. We are out in space. There is a golden white hourglass-shaped vortex high above light sea, and Satnam is standing just at the bottom of it. Now, he is the master teacher of the Atma plane, the first higher reality above the void. From there on, and in the void itself, no negative nature exists whatsoever in any way, shape, or form, and never has. So you could say that the beings of the higher realities are changing in order to change the lower universe, particularly the silent mentors, which must be involved in that process. This is all preliminary, just to get the momentum to go on this journey. We do that out in space outside of Earth's negatively impacted atmosphere. It's just got massive volumes of junk stored in and around the water molecules that people have created there since life first started manifesting on Earth. Good and bad and everything in between. The sound of a high note of flute is passing down through this vortex. It's whirling clockwise, has a blue-green energy like water, gently revolving at a slower rate around the center of this vortex. From here, as Atmas, you can look up past Satnam and see, way up at the other end, a pale, brilliant pale blue luminous atmosphere, or space. That is the void. This vortex bypasses the astral, causal, mental, and etheric planes so that we can go somewhere and get some real stuff. No energy recharging us, bringing it through us for the benefit of Earth, to bring about a transformation that was not in prophesied history. The Armageddon was prophesied. It was created from people who wanted the world to end so that they could go to some heaven through the destruction of a planet. That's incorrect thinking in every way. It is not necessary. And every time Earth's been destroyed, or the people on it, nothing has changed in billions of years. People find themselves running a body, still doing what they're doing, trying to recreate an Armageddon out of subconscious, compulsive, negative behavior. It is wrong in every way before the real source behind all life, which never required that we worship it. It does require that we know life in the grand multidimensional universe and respect it, each other, and all life. This is required. So we're stepping up into the true divine love. The ability to come to know life in the universe far more advanced than Earth, respect it, not be a doormat for it, and then work with it. Allow it to come and help us, because we're going to need their help to survive the way this world is. Simple as that. Torellian still has his thumbs up There is a galactic alliance couple standing beside each of you out here in a circle around Torellian. Pelham, Ramu, Etendin, Light Sea, Satnam. Satnam showing you a perfect form. Bronze skin, bald head, gold eyes, not yellow. 2 gold bracelets on each of his upper bare-chested, strongly built arms. Little white tunic dress from his waist to his bare ankles. And he's pointing upward. Now, that golden white whirling, not fast, hourglass-shaped vortex needs to be charged by our co-creative involvement with it. So we're going to do that now, together. We'll send out the hue and higher tones and we'll charge it up. But we're not going up it yet. We're going to planet Zeontrahnaman 1. That is on the other side of the Milky Way Galaxy, opposite from Oceania. And we're going to visit with the governing council leaders, man and wife, of the Zeontrahnaman race. Why? Because their organization of worlds run a little more than half the galaxy. The Galactic Interdimensional Alliance of Free Worlds runs just under the half of the other side. And they are working in complete harmony now, for the first time. So Earth is the odd man out now in all of this, isn't it? Because reptilians and greys aren't in our solar system. They're not in hidden bases underground. They were removed more than 25 years ago. You got to get the UFO and extraterrestrial disclosure communities caught up to present time because they're still peddling around, peddling fear to make money. It's not constructive. The things they talk about are no longer taking place here, but people on Earth are brainwashed and stuck with it, what they're left with, and that needs to change. So we are out here in space with Torellian and master teachers in the pure hue to help that happen. I'll begin the tones. Do them with me. And keep your focus above Eta and Din, above Light Sea, above Satnam. Watch this vortex light up brighter as we do this. These beings around us are doing this with us, have done it with us, are co-creating with us. That vortex now leads to, through the void, to Satnam's beach, past his realm to the Hue Expansion Ray Academy, through the 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, into the Agam Purusha realm, into the ocean of sound light, into the what we call source of prime creator. And above that to the silent mentor realm, and then the Hue Expansion Ray plane. To connection is direct. No negative nature in the lower worlds of time and space is permitted to enter this vortex. It is made of energy that is master over all that. Remember this. It's passing down through Torellian's thumbs. He points out in space between the Earth and the Moon, and we suddenly find ourselves up above the Milky Way Galaxy in that beautiful golden white energy of the hue. Our nearest neighbor, we can see the Milky Way Galaxy down there, and then off in the distance towards the left is the Andromeda Galaxy, what they call Sephiros, or Sepharis, the distant wonder. Galactic Alliance calls it by that name as well. They have a Galactic Council like the Galactic Interdimensional Alliance of Free Worlds on a planet called Archendra. They're in harmony with this group of beings. People on Earth don't know squat about any of it, but they could under the right circumstances. You can see where Earth is down one of the 7 spiral arms to the left, about 2/3 of the way out it. It's lit up. It says Planet Earth. It's got a little golden light arrow pointing to it. Then you go to the other side of the galaxy out one of the spiral arms and you see Planet Oceania. Then you see the other side of the galaxy away from Earth and you see Planet Zeontrahnaman 1. And we suddenly are projected with a flash of light from Torellian's thumbs as a group of beings right down above that planet. It is huge. It's 4 times bigger than Earth. 3 major continents around it, centered around the equator. 3 moons the size of Earth orbiting it. No polar ice caps. Trinary sun system. And then we find ourselves moving down through the atmosphere, which is luminous. The water vapor, the H2O, is charged with the hue. It's glowing. And then we're moving through the other side, and then you see this panorama, huge expanse, and a continent. No polar ice caps. A glowing blue-green ocean. Then we find ourselves suddenly looking out of an opening with 2 big blue stone pillars. And you can see a dome in the distance between mesas, flat mesas like you'd find in Sedona, Arizona on Earth. And there's a dome over us. It's hard to describe. It's not like a metropolis on Earth. Every building in that structure, pyramid or spherical, has a function. You see down below, running through the ravine between these 2 right and left side plateaus, you see a violet lavender river flowing like a snake with a charged metal in it. It's glowing. And we suddenly find ourselves walking on a lavender colored sandy path, which is glowing about a foot above it. And we're walking in our bare feet. The Atma's hovering above you. The master teachers are here with us in one place or another, just walking along. And up above and up ahead, we see 2 beings approaching us, very stately, very majestic, 10 feet tall. Ivory-colored skin like moonstone. Longer fingers, longer legs, longer feet, longer torsos, longer necks. Violet-colored, big oval eyes, bigger than an Earth human. Long hair to their shoulders that looks like silver metal, but it's soft. You just know it. When they walk, they're moving like graceful swans. And they approach us and stop. Each of them raises their right hand up. This is a mated pair. The first thing you hear from them is that the body forms they're showing you, which are of the Zeontrahnaman race on this planet, are more than 3.5 million years old, unaged. They are master genetic scientists. Donantalos and Freshun Muntis are their names. The Atma's bigger than ours, hovering above them. It cannot be mistaken because you have an Atma, you, looking at the body you're showing them, and you're simply being greeted by these people. And they point beyond the river, between the two plateaus to the Dome City, and we suddenly find ourselves in a circle of beings in the very center of that city on planet Zeontrahnaman 1. There is a big blue stone scalloped edge fountain. It has a Christmas tree like blue-green light moving up and down it. And around that, a cylinder of white golden light. And this has been built here to connect to the vortex we created with the masterful beings up above Satnam in space outside of Earth that goes all the way up to Source. These are master teachers. They also teach in the Hue Expansion Ray Academy, this couple. We're standing around this fountain, the Atma hovering above the pure body form we're showing each other. And they simply levitate off the ground, holding hands, and move up into this channel of this fountain. So we joined them, Torellian and myself by each other, moving upward, and then all of you. We're suddenly moving up inside the bottom of the hourglass-shaped vortex, back outside in space by Earth. And Satnam is receding way up in the distance. And then there's a flash of white golden light from Torellian's fist. And we find ourselves on the other end of this interdimensional portal. Looking way down, and we can see the opening, and we're still hovering down in space below Earth. We came from planet Zeontrahnaman 1 through the fountain to Earth and up this portal. They're all connected. The sound of a high note of flute is drawing us upward. The light is growing brighter. What we're in is an atmosphere that looks like brilliant, as I call it, but pale blue luminous light. And that vortex below us vanishes, just dissolves and vanishes away. We are moving upward at tremendous speed in a circle of beings around Torellian. Satnam is still in the lead ahead of us. There is nothing in the void of any material structure, so they call it a void. So many people mistakenly think it's the realm of the Supreme Being and worship it. It is not. It is pure hue. It's a living, conscious, omnipresent energy. But we are heading to the upper end of it. And as you can see in the distance, we're approaching what looks like, as it expands, a luminous diamond-like sandy beach, beautifully created, curving as far as you can see in each direction, and then slightly inward, which implies, of course, that this beach surrounds a massive circular landmass. And Satnam points to it, to the beach, and we find ourselves on the beach with our toes, bare toes, wiggling in this glowing, diamond-like sand. And he reaches down and picks up a handful, throws it at us. One little spherical diamond crystal, radiating light, passes through, like the chest area of the form you have, up through your head, goes right into the white core of your being, and makes it brighter, smarter. It's a gift. And then he's moving up over the top of these jungle trees, which are all transparent with energy moving up and down in them. There's a bunch of these beautiful foot-long birds that come out of the trees, and a couple hovers beside each of us to each side of the Galactic Alliance couple. And they begin to sing with vocal cords. They have twin sets of bird wings, one above the other, almost like a dragonfly, really, hovering there like a hummingbird. Long beaks, big blue eyes, rainbow-colored feathers, thousands of colors blended perfectly. They're kind of like a blue jay. And they're singing the hue, male and female voices, the most beautiful, perfect voices you could ever experience. And they're simply channeling the hue through the Atmas hovering above those bird bodies, maintaining what we call the void. Their mentors are silent mentors. Some of them are silent mentors. And we move over the top of the jungle trees following Satnam. And we approach passing over the small fountain in the botanical paradise of 7 numbers of concentric circles of botanical plants. Follow a brown moss-covered path to the base of a long diagonal snow-covered bluestone mountain range. We come to hover right between these 2 big blue lapis lazuli pillars supporting what looks like a golden-sided quartz-capped pyramid roof. And we're passing right beyond this blue quartz polished, smooth, rounded edged throne chair that Satnam never sits in. It's a device. You can see the white golden light of the hue moving through it, going out in all directions. We're going in through a triangular opening to a larger fountain. It's like a Christmas tree light in it. We experienced that on planet Zeontrahnaman 1 in the domed city, in the fountain in the center of it. The shaft of white golden light of the hue is flowing down into this fountain. It's much bigger, big blue stone scalloped edged fountain. The base of the mountains, the blue stone, is behind it. And we move as a group up into this channel of light. I'm still beside Torellian. We're all moving upward. We're shot upward instantly and come out the other end to look down through this opening of this channel of light and see this massive floating circular landmass we call the Atma plane, Satnam's realm. We are now in a much brighter cobalt blue atmosphere, moving quickly towards what looks like in the distance a huge floating circular landmass with a brighter diamond-like beach glowing around it. The cobalt blue atmosphere surrounding this floating island is brighter than in Satnam's realm. In the center of these 6 snow-covered mountain ranges, not mountain ranges, 6 single mountains with bluestone, in the center of this floating landmass, you come to hover above a blue glass-like administration tower, which has been built around the outer circumference of a white island, down in the center of these 6 surrounding mountains. There's a blue-green luminous lake floating around it. And inside the base of this cylindrical curved tower that has 2/3 of the way up has an oval-shaped administration area with a fountain in it. No statue of Satnam up to a minaret point. In the base, floating above a 4-foot-high, rectangular, smooth, polished, cobalt blue-like stone, is a 4-foot-in-diameter blue crystal-like sphere with a gradient cobalt blue star radiating in the center of it. It is a type of device that channels higher energy from a plane above and transmutes it out through all directions. Then we find ourselves high above the Hue Expansion Ray Academy, looking down on it from inside this shaft of light. We can see white roadways straight as an arrow coming out of horseshoe-shaped golden tunnels coming out of the base of all 6 mountains. And these roads go as straight as an arrow to the white luminous beach, like the spokes from a hub of a bicycle tire. Down each of these roadways, to the left and later to the right, then later to the left and right, are individual clearings. These are individual teaching facilities. So we're going to go down the western roadway as a group all the way to the end of the roadway to the luminous diamond-like beach. The atmosphere beyond it is cobalt blue. A little darker, looks like ocean, but it's the same energy. It's not water. There's a right turn into an area that goes to a teaching facility with a long redwood kind of handrail deck around an Olympic-sized swimming pool and a rectangular building with a circular blue glass door. That is run by teaching masters called Donatellis? No, Dosmantel. I can't remember now. Anyway, we're not going there. We're going to the left teaching facility, the clearing just before the beach, and in it are 3 structures. The first one to the right is a rectangular building with convex, oval-shaped several curved window portals on each side, the front and the back and on top, through which can be seen different locations and planets in the lower worlds of time and space. Inside it is a huge stadium-sized training facility. We're not going there. The next one is a spherical structure, like a blue luminous glass with tripod legs, and there's a curved semi-spherical dome on top, and you can see planet Zeontrahnaman 1 through it. It's a doorway to it. And then over to the left is a tall, thin pyramid, golden-sided core-capped pyramid structure. You can see right through it. And there are 3 white leather-like chairs around a golden shaft of light facing outward. You're going to find that each of you can sit in that chair at the same time. We are in a place of no time and space. And what it's doing is it's simply channeling an energy of understanding. This is the teaching facility of Donatalis and Freshen Muntis. Because they teach, they take turns, they come here and they teach. They don't teach on a blackboard or computer. Their energy, the hue is moving through them. They are standing behind these chairs. The energy moving through the Atma they are is passing through us, and the energy moving through us is passing through them. So we get to experience a little bit what it's like, or remember what it's like, to have an immortalized body we're running as an Atma, which you all did long ago. We find ourselves moving up inside the hourglass vortex, which is above the entire Hue Expansionary Academy, because we're heading all the way up the other end, and you can see what looks like golden, brown, blue, red, orange, green, violet fire moving around. We suddenly are projected there, and we're in an immense field of energy. That field of energy is like fire coming out of the ground, coming out, going every direction, all different colors, making up images of gargoylean type things and disappearing. It's not threatening. This is the realm of Agam Purusha. Brought here because it is the last being we must get permission from to enter the source behind all life itself. We cannot go past him without being connected to him. This big, huge, oval, spherical, luminous white light with colors so subtle approaches us. We're all in a circle around Torellian. And he's simply welcoming us here. I befriended him the first time I met him. This is a being who is aware of the power behind and supporting the entire multidimensional creation at one time. I mean, he knows it. There is a huge tree, like a silver tree, gigantic. The roots are massive, bigger than cities, growing down into this, disappearing in this fiery light, the raw energy of eternity, which he regulates. The individual branches and all the needles on it are glowing. The trunk has a transparent shaft of white golden light, and we're suddenly projected right into it and shot upward. The next thing we see is we are in a much brighter cobalt blue atmosphere surrounding one single object off in the distance, floating in the center of it. We are in the realm of Prime Creator, Source, ocean of sound and light, because everything is like an orchestra that you can't produce on Earth. The sound is unbelievable. The light is brighter than human eyes could ever withstand. You are an Atma. There is no physical appearing form here, just you. As a group around Torellian, we're moving right through what looks like stars surrounding the central nucleus of a galaxy, because that's what it looks like. But then you realize these are individual beings revolving around a hollowed out interior, has a big bulge in the center like a galaxy. Remember, all galaxies are patterned after the source. And then we're suddenly projected forward into this void, and we come to a single white island floating in the center of it. And hovering above it is a gigantic Atma, looks like us. 1,000 layers of teardrop-shaped lights. Brilliant white core. And we're moving easily between the space between each teardrop faculty, like two stars in space. And then we're inside the white core. We are white cores ourselves. We are Atmas with all of our dimensional reality around us, all the multicolored layers. But it's the white core that is the same, identical as this source. And you hear a deep baritone voice say to you, with an angelic, crystalline, feminine quality to it, it's hard to describe, welcome home. You can't tell the difference between the white core that makes up your energy and source itself, because there isn't one. Your individualizations, like a drop from this source energy, and the being or the presence that spoke to you is a manifestation of all Atmas in all of creation in the entire multidimensional universe together collectively. And it has a presence like a god in a sense, but it's not something you worship. It's something you experience and respect. You respect each other, you respect the beings that revolve around it, then you begin to respect all life in the multidimensional universe below here. And he says, now you must return or your physical body would perish. So we find ourselves suddenly, instantly, in a flash of light, coming out of another tree of life, which is located in a massive pyramid, four-sided, golden-sided, quartz-capped. It is the first turn down the western roadway to the right. Remember, we went all the way to the end of the roadway to the left? The Zeontrahnaman people, teachers, we're turning to the right. There's a blue stone-covered path. It's kind of like an S shape. It goes up to round glass blue-like doors, luminous, in the center of one side of the pyramid. And it opens, and Light C steps out because he is the guardian, the master teacher of this facility in the Hue Expansionary Academy. And he invites us inside. So we all enter through this vast opening. We find ourselves standing on a luminous, foot-thick, glowing golden floor. The inside walls of this pyramid are glowing. This tree has roots sunk down into this quartz. And the top of it goes to the very inner top point of all four sides of the pyramid. The trunk is transparent. And then you suddenly experience yourself coming out of that trunk of tree and then standing around Light C, around the tree. Because that tree of life is connected to the bigger one in Agam Purusha's realm. So you're getting a whole stretch of a breath of reawakening, remembering the structure of the multidimensional creation in one journey through the tree of life. In the tree of life, every needle and every branch represents some location or place in the multidimensional creation. That's why it's called the tree of life. Light C is the custodian or caretaker or master teacher of this facility. So the energy coming through the Atma is bigger than us. Known as the faultless guardian is passing through him, through us, up through the Atma we are, and right up through the top of that tree. The energy coming down the tree and out the trunk is passing through us and then through Light C, going out of this four-sided pyramid to the teaching facility at the end of the western roadway that Zeontrahnaman's couple run. And then it's going out every roadway in the entire Hue Expansionary Academy. And it's going all the way down through the multiverse, through the interdimensional doorways that silent mentors run, and eventually gets to Earth. So now you see two couples hovering above Light C inside this pyramid. They are silent mentors, male and female, alternating. Male, female, male, female. One has a blue gown on, single gown. One has a green. One has a yellow. One has a kind of a violet. And then they have different colored hair, different colored skin, long hair to their shoulders. When you look at their face, it's a bright white light. There's no facial features. Above them is hovering an Atma 4 times bigger than us. Twice as many teardrop-shaped layers in it. These are silent mentors. They run the mechanics of creation. They maintain it. The energy of the Hue is passing through them, through the forms they're willing to show us. It's moving through us, right through Torellian, and right up the shaft of that tree, and in the other way as well. So we get to mix it up with both master teachers on one side and silent mentors on the other, but that can only be done in the Hue Expansionary Academy for now. Then we find ourselves in space instantly, hovering around Torellian, looking at the polar ice caps of Earth, the barren moon, the sun in the distance, still an oval golden light around us. And then you see the Earth change. We're going to the third higher parallel dimension where there is an Earth, which is where Oceania is in the third higher parallel dimension. So Zeontrahnaman 1, though, is in the physical universe where Earth is you're familiar with. And you see the Earth suddenly transform. It has no polar ice caps. It has a big continent from the left to the right hemisphere. It goes down a third of the way above the South Pole, a third of the way below the North Pole. That is Lemriel, or Mu, motherland. That is an Earth that exists in the physical universe. It's not astral. There's no pollutants. There's nobody. It's not very well populated. It is a prototype place. It's called Lemriel because it's one that never sank like it did when the pole slipped in the Earth you know about. There's another continent 2/3 its size on the other side of it. The moon has an oxygen atmosphere and rain and clouds and little lakes and little oceans and dome cities, turning on its axis as it revolves around this Earth and the sun in the distance. Otherwise, it looks pretty much the same as the Earth you know. Continents are different. In the center of that big landmass is a Himalayan-type mountain range. Ramu comes from there. Down on the lower point, there is a upward curved half-moon-shaped beach, third of the way up from the South Pole. It's glowing. It's calling to you. It has a sound like the humming of an ocean gently crashing on a beach. And we find ourselves with our bare toes wiggling in glowing emerald green sand, big half-moon-shaped curved beach. Torellian standing up to his knees in this blue-green luminous water. And when you wiggle your toes, this energy comes up your feet through the top of your head, goes right into the white core of the Atma you are, and starts lighting up some more of the little teardrops, there are many, in the green layer. This has to do with remembering your lives in the lower dimensions of time and space, lives that matter, lives that awoken will bring more wisdom and respect for all life into the life you're running. In the distance inland, several miles past this jungle, much bigger trees than on Earth in a tropical setting. Brown moss-covered path as straight as narrow goes through this jungle, and there's a single snow-covered mountain to the right. And a dome covering 3 golden-sided quartz-capped pyramids is a small city there. Silent mentors, Say-Rays, Galactic Alliance people work here. There's a waterfall cascading 2/3 of the way towards the summit of this mountain out of a cavern opening. It's dropping straight down a sheer cliff face. It's luminous blue-green water. It's disappearing behind these blue, almost blue, little bit of green trees that surround the back of the dome. Eventually dumps into that ocean. The ocean is luminous a foot above the waves. The waves are calm, always. This is a normal world, a prototype for what Earth will become. It has to exist somewhere for it to be superimposed over what exists now. We have a dead moon orbiting Earth that does not function properly, does not turn on its axis at all. Despite the gravity influence of Earth, the moon, and other planets, it does not turn. There's nothing correct or right about that. So you begin to understand what possible places to visit to become aware of, to include that in your awareness on Earth when you walk around in life. It doesn't make your life more imbalanced. You don't give up money and walk away and stop eating and go live in a teepee or in a cave. That's not practical for anybody anymore. It actually begins to make your life more intelligent and more practical and more balanced. And then you find yourself in space, hovering above the planet, looking at Earth as you're familiar with it. Then you find yourself hovering above your bodies near the ceiling. Galactic Alliance couple is still beside you. They smile and vanish. You can see the Emerald Star Cruiser in a lounge, and they're getting up about egg-shaped blue cushioned chairs behind oval glass-top blue tables. They're waking up their bodies that were in the trance stage called sleep to go on this journey, to keep your fears shut off. Send them gratitude, thank them. They'll acknowledge you respectfully. The energy of the golden white light from the journey from Source itself is passing through the top of the roof of where you live, through you as an Atma, through the body, out through the aura, through the walls, out into 3 pyramids located in secret places on Earth, 2 at the bottom of Earth's deepest oceans, 1 in the hollowed out interior of a mountain in the Himalayas, and it goes out to a bigger pyramid, into a fountain in it. It is hovering stationary in space between 2 stable asteroids in the asteroid field that circles in the orbit of what was a planet between Mars and Jupiter. And then it is beamed to larger pyramids between stars that have begun to manifest in our galaxy. And it's beamed to the white core of the axis. It's not a black hole. It's a white luminous shaft of light, and then it's sent back up that to Source itself. So it passes through us for our benefit, but it continues through us, co-creatively, for the benefit of all life. We're back. When you're ready, open your eyes. I don't know of any other way to get this across to you guys to remember.
But I think you mute yourself by accident instead of unmuting us. I don't know. I think you're still on mute right now.
Did I
Oh
just,
no,
okay, did you hear the whole journey or was I muted?
no. We heard the whole gist. Just when you tried to unmute us, I think you muted yourself.
Oh, okay, thank you. Yeah, I think I accidentally did that. Shame on me, bad boy. Well, I won't beat myself up too hard. As long as the journey's recorded, that's all I care about. So, we're all here, just 4 of us. How amazing is that? Any questions, Lubomir, Lee, or Margaret?
Mm.
Well, you're going to want to go back through this one because there was a lot took place in this journey. In unique ways. We go through unique doorways all the time to expand, to stretch you, to start imagining and appreciating and opening yourself up to pure source energy, because it's your link to recover everything. Look at the image behind Lubomir. It's all that space area that little stars are floating in. That's the hue itself, right there. It is not nuclear, atomic, quantum physicists, advanced astrophysicists. They know it's not atoms. They just don't know what to do with it or how to play with it. They know that it's 0-point energy of the energy of the universe and that it's a living something, but they don't know how to really work with it yet. The people that are out in space that are bringing about a change in the unexpected change for this world of people understand it, a great deal of it, and have for millions of years. So they're going to be the best people to help people bridge into that. At some point, they'll have to land all over this planet. It was not planned 40, 50 years ago, but it is now. Interesting. Any questions? So maybe you just want to go and play with it a second time. You got something on your mind there, Lubomir.
Yes. Why why can I not recall consciously
Why can't
our
you?
journey?
Why can't?
I cannot recall the journey consciously. Why can I not recall the journey consciously? Where is the
What do you mean by you can't record the journey consciously? It's
no, nicht record, record, re, nicht record, recall.
recall.
Yeah, recall. Yes.
Which journey are you trying to recall? The one we were just on?
Not I'm hearing as you talk about our journey, but I cannot experience it consciously.
Well, of
Do you
course
know
you
what I
did.
mean?
Were you conscious on the journey? Did you hear me speaking? Did you see what
Yes,
I was
this
describing? Did you see what I was describing in your own way?
not.
Did you? Yeah,
I
you
can
did.
hear it, but I cannot see it.
Well, of course you can. That's just fear. Fear is the only thing that keeps you from using a faculty you already have, which is the ability to see into the universe. You've always had it. But you're new to this, and fear is the only thing that gets in the way of that, because common sense, the understanding of the hue, knowing awareness, enlightenment, God realization does not mix with any of the negative emotions, especially fear, especially subconscious fear. That just grounds things. You actually saw and heard everything we did. You're going to find this out when you play this back the second time. You will be on your own then, relaxed, childlike wonder, and you can just listen and explore and visualize. You know how to, here's what I'm saying, why that doesn't make sense what you said. To yourself, you're fooling yourself, because you can imagine going to the grocery store and you get in the car and go, right? Right?
Yes. Yeah.
What's the difference? There isn't one. If you can imagine getting on an airplane or going on a vacation, or imagine going to the beach, or imagine eating a certain food and then going to a restaurant and eating it, you are seeing exactly everything I described for you because it was telepathic. You, the being, saw it all. You have to allow yourself, you have to let yourself on earth accept this. You as the Atma have to enlighten that body on earth that learned none of it growing up. Nothing. Zip. Zero. Nothing. And you have to change that bad habit and allow yourself. You have to admit that you know stuff, is what I'm saying, to yourself. Because all your life you can never get those results. You tried everything, it wouldn't work. This is actually working, but you have to allow yourself, of your own awakened true free will, to allow yourself to know this stuff on earth as Lubomir. Because you are the being that knows, and it needs to receive humbly from itself this knowing. Fear gets in the way of that. Fear of anything gets in the way of that. So maybe a recommendation would be, when you go on this journey the second time, it'll be on my YouTube channel, right? You can go there and play it whenever you want, right?
Yes.
And you can copy the link and put it in a file so you can always go back to it, like any journeys. If more journeys keep pushing that further down, you have to hunt for it down the list of YouTube journeys, and there are many, hundreds of them. So you want to maybe save the link when you go to the YouTube channel and look it up, because it'll be there right after we're done. I'll put it up there. And then enjoy yourself. You know, pick a time next day or so when you won't have any interruptions. Turn off your cell phone and just have a cup of tea, have a meal, whatever. Start to play this thing from the beginning. Take some notes. Get a little voice activated microphone or something. And just speak into it when you have some kind of connection with what's being shown you. Because you were on this journey. The real you went through all of it, has those experiences, knows this stuff. You need to let that come down. You have to reach, it's like being humble to your own God self. You have to co-creatively allow the body and form you grew up with on earth to accept this, because that's what has to happen co-creatively. That's how you'll gain your own mastery of knowing certainty. This is about having experience so that you become the knower, not the believer. We're not interested in belief here. Anybody can do that belief game. They're doing it all over Earth, and it's destroying the planet. Because they're conflicting beliefs, aren't they? Government people grow up in those conflicting beliefs. You see the problem? They don't think outside of Earth. They don't imagine outside of Earth. Almost none of them do. I don't think even Elon Musk with rocket ships going into orbit imagines outside of Earth. Yet. But they're headed in that direction. So, if you grow up on a planet never being reinforced from parents or surroundings in any of this, why would you grow up as an adult with any confidence with it? And yet you don't have a problem imagining going to the store or getting on an airplane. You see it first, or your body doesn't go there. You see the store first, or you don't get in a car. The body will not follow the imagination. Turn the key on and drive somewhere. It's exactly the same faculty. The reason I'm telling you this is because, did we stop the recording? We should probably bring it to a stop. It's getting kind of long. But I wanted to answer this. It's the same. If you're not taught to imagine out of fear anything outside of Earth, that it's all theory and speculative, because peddling fear makes money, doesn't it? All over the planet. It's not a good thing. It's destructive. It ends life on entire worlds. It has in the past, and it did on this planet a number of times in its past. So you grow up basically being entertained by mindless fear and misdirection. It's subconscious fear, not conscious. Something that was programmed, forced on you before you came here. You know about that. So all this is for Margaret or Lee or you or me or anyone. You have to catch the knack of the hue as it passes through you. It won't just hit you on the head with enlightenment. You have to cooperate creatively with it and allow it. You have to just know that certain things on this journey, you already know, that you knew them, and you're asking yourself, how could I have forgotten that? Because it's all familiar territory to you on some level. The omnipresent living power, you as a spherical being, all of that is not what's taught on earth to anyone. I don't know of a single guru in India that teaches this yet. Not one. So think about this for a moment. You are discovering how to visualize and see things as an Atma, because imagination doesn't come from your brain. The brain has no brain cells to create imagination. That's all theoretical nonsense. The imagination is you seeing things and passing that vision to your brain, your eyes, so it seems like the physical you is what's seeing this. Physical eyes and ears cannot see or hear the hue. You can. You can educate that body to tune into it, but it doesn't see or hear this stuff. When you know that, you know everything. Because the imagination is not created from a brain. It comes from the spherical being and is connected to the pineal gland in the center of the brain where you run the body, and distribute it into your field of energy around your body so that you look out and say, oh, I see that and I hear this. That's how you educate the body to be surrendered to itself. You're not surrendering to a being on a throne up there. You already know that. You're surrendering to your true self. And that starts to put you back in mastery over all this nothing stuff down here. This silliness, this superficial nonsense that's everywhere in life around us, programmed into the atmosphere of the planet. That has to all be cleaned. the water systems, the air. The H2O can store positive and negative anything, and it's stored and kept within the planet's atmosphere. It cannot be sent out into the hue outside of this Earth. We're stuck with what we're creating here. If beings from elsewhere weren't coming here to fix that, we could never fix it. We'd never get out of here. The subconscious compulsion to reincarnate through fear in another body would endlessly go on. And every life you'd be going, what the hell? How the hell did I get here? How come I don't remember? You've already asked all those questions. And it brought you to the hue, didn't it? You crossed paths with the hue. That is a great win on your part. That is co-creative genius. That is you beginning to awaken you. Doesn't matter what was done to you. You see my point?
Yes.
You are on this journey. The rest of the world isn't yet. I wish they were. The world would be completely different. You know who the toughest people are to get onto any consistent unfoldment? Western people. They're the wealthiest. They're the most mindlessly entertained. Buddhist people tend to be a little higher up the chain because they're working with the mental plane. It's a little easier to get them moving in a consistent. And even then, it's tough. The energy on the planet has to increase to make it easier and easier for me and my associates to bring this about. But it also requires each one of you. You come from out there. You had lifetimes far more advanced in human form than you have on Earth today, and lost it, or forgot it, or were made to forget it. So this is what this journey's for. I would recommend you have fun with it. You know, play some of it, take a break, go to a restaurant, have some food, send out the you and see how people react, and don't say anything. Come back and play it some more. Take some notes when you get an insight, an intuition, something about how this is all familiar to you. Allow yourself to know it. Tell yourself on paper, I know this stuff. And then play it through to the end. That way you're actually objectively looking at the journey to see all the details you cannot remember right now in the Lubomir part. So you want to educate the Lubomir part from your journey and get it understanding all this stuff for your life on Earth, so you can make more of a relaxed, continuing progress in the hue expansion ray itself. It's meant to be done with childlike wonder. Childlike wonder isn't childish, it's just, wow, look at that crystal, it's glowing. Look at that lake. Oh, wow, I'm out of my body. That's childlike wonder. It's kind of like that attitude. You know? That's all you have to do. It's so simple. You don't have to think about what you think, oh, I can't see. I've heard that from thousands of people. They see now. Why? Not until they allowed themselves to see could they see. Otherwise, they still like, I can't see anything. Well, can you imagine going to the store? Yeah. Then you're seeing everything. Something in you is fooling you into believing you can't see. And yet it's hypocritical. It's conflict of interest. You have to see where you're going before you can go anywhere to run a body. It's just, the body doesn't imagine anything. It doesn't do anything. It's running because of an energy beam you're connecting to the pineal gland to run it unconsciously, like all people on Earth. But it doesn't get in that car and turn that key and go to the store till you first picture why you want to go there. Oh, I've got to have some popcorn. Off you go. Piece of cake, easy as pie. Well, it's the same thing when you go to Zeontrahnaman 1 or, the planet of the Galactic Alliance Council or to the astral plane. And I avoid a lot of that because I'm trying to wake people up to energy that has no negative nature. There's plenty of negative nature in the higher heavens. Astral, causal, mental, and etheric. There's a lot of the forms you have there are just as trapped as you are. And you are now helping wake them up. Your higher selves are being woken up from your journeys right here on Earth. Because the Atma's awake going on these journeys. They are not. When we come back, Satnam and Torellian kind of kick their ass coming back. And they begin to wake up and see each other and get over their selfishness. and then they start to think more about helping you here. Same for me. People take for granted their higher selves are helping them. Do you see any evidence on this planet the way it is that their higher selves are helping them at all? Or give a hoot about them in any way? Because I don't. All the prayers and all the religions that are just on earth and not represented anywhere else out in the greater God. Do you see that's fixed the world at all? In thousands of years? No. Something else has to enter the consciousness of people on this world for them to actually change, or they will not change. They will stay in belief forever. And they just don't have to do anything that way. They don't have to take responsibility for the way they're treating the planet, the animals, the life, the atmosphere. They don't have to take any responsibility at all. It's a cop-out. If they did the same thing they're doing, but were awake enough to respect all life, and not just life on Earth, this planet would be heaven on Earth, like many other worlds are. And we have to catch up with them. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Just question.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like as an Atma going on this journey.
But how does reviewing like the videos help build the connection between,
If you've been
us?
on the journey, you've been on the journey. Viewing the video makes you more conscious of all the details. A lot gets compacted in one of these little journeys.
So it's kind of about like recalling that helps build the connection.
Of course. But if you're too lazy to go back on this journey again with childlike wonder and review it, that's your fault, not mine.
Mm.
You got to get over that lethargy that holds you down and pulls you back. The doubt and fear are negative, fear-based emotions. Behind them are terror and death and torture. Behind all fears. Subconsciously. We want to get them gone. We don't want that subconscious stuff influencing us anymore, right? We don't. None of us do. When you're awake this far, there's no turning back. That's the good news. Once that hue passes through you in this way, it begins to become your teacher. The omnipresent power itself begins to look at you in a different way, because now you have potential return and fulfill what you were supposed to do 1 billion years ago. Become a conscious co-creator with it. It's our destiny. It is our purpose for being a spherical Atma. What people on Earth call soul without really knowing what it is. They really don't. It has structure and shape and purpose and faculty. And co-creative purpose with the source that they worship, that people on Earth worship. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just that it does of itself does not require us to put it on a pedestal and worship it. How does that change anyone? What's required is that we directly experience it through this omnipresent power. Respect it. It already respects us. And then we learn to respect each other and all the masters and all the life we meet along the way. It changes us. Does that make sense? For you?
Yes. Yes.
You got no problem seeing. You've just got a little bit of a challenge accepting that you see. This is the same for all people. And you will get over it. There's only one thing erasable from a being's experience in billions upon billions of years. Just one is erasable in the end, and that is fear. It's not meant to be permanent. We're not meant to keep it. Sooner or later, the hue will compel you to let go of it. The time will come a time when you ask if you want all that terror dissolved forever in a sphere above your head. And then it'll be gone. All of it. When you're ready, you don't need fear as a cattle prod to get you to think logically or spiritually correctly anymore. So it's done away with. See what I mean? It's the way for everyone. Doesn't matter what religious belief they are. Ultimately, they're meant to be co-creators with the source behind all life. There's no getting around this one. I will bring this recording to a stop.